Hello, Ducks hockey fans in Orange County, California, United States, Finland, and all over the world. Happy Tuesday, everybody. 12, 25, and 4. 28 points after 41 games played. Let that sink in. Let that be etched in the memory of all Ducks fans. Let that be etched in the memory of the hockey players suited up for our Anaheim Ducks for the past 3.5 months. In my own opinion, this has been one of the most worst first half of any Ducks hockey seasons we have experienced. I'm not going to lie to most of you now, and I'll be very, very honest. 3.5 months ago, I was hoping and expecting our Anaheim Ducks to hit the ground running. I was hoping and expecting the youth within the Ducks rank and file of this edition of the Anaheim Ducks to not only hit the ground running, but be motivated, driven, energized, reinvigorated after the retirement of Ducks legend Ryan Getzlaf, last member of the 2007 Stanley Cup Championship Anaheim Ducks. But what we have in the first half of the 22-23 season is one of not only the worst starts of the first half of any of the Ducks' 29 NHL seasons and years, but perhaps one of the most poorest and the most abysmal starts we have experienced. Our Ducks are playing below the expectations that we all have. And yes, I know most of us have predictions and fall under expected projections of where our team will finish. But right now, nothing is etched in stone. Nothing is set in place. Looking at those 41 games from October until now makes you wonder when you see all the flaws and what went wrong and issues, where there be no identity or the poor power play and penalty killing strategies, which has left our Ducks special team at the bottom of the league's categories in power plays and penalty killing. It's frustrating. It's annoying. It's demoralizing, and it can be downright insulting at times. We know this team can do better. We know the talent and the skills and the players are there, but it is how it is utilized that really is the point of issue with not just our Anaheim Ducks, but with all Ducks fans. Let it sink in that, yes, our team is rebuilding, but it's also giving some of the Ducks' young core within the roster responsibilities, duties, and roles that, sadly enough, some of them are taking it for granted. I'm not going to name names. What it all boils down to is the need for the next generation of hockey players suiting up for our Anaheim Ducks, contributing to the Ducks' cause, can at least be consistent, be focused and driven, and do what is best to get back into the fight. But at the halfway point, right now, the Ducks have lost so much ground over those 3.5 months. So much time, so much games being lost, being thrown into disarray. It's not even funny. It's not even point of talking about it or lamenting about it. It just comes down to how we see this team in a rebuilding mode, that the Ducks should have at least challenged themselves, focus, and be at least try to be consistent, game in and game out. Try to finish in winning games. Yes, they have 12 wins at the halfway point of this season. But I'd rather see the Ducks win more than regulation wins than getting wins in overtime and shootouts. But it is what it is. And it sucks that this team is where they are right now. At this point, with now only 41 games left, it's becoming very clear now that where our Anaheim Ducks will go, who knows? As I said before in the live stream, the road forward for our Anaheim Ducks, for the next generation of hockey players right now, suited up and doing what they can to contribute to the Ducks' cause, will be turbulent, bumpy, full of obstacles, full of disadvantages, and full of tough teams, whether it be rivals and enemies that will stand in the way. But the ugly truth of this all right now, it's that with a rebuilding team, a team with a mixture of youth, some experience, and some young players with bright futures ahead for our Anaheim Ducks, there will be obstacles. There will be times that they will be challenged, which is good. This generation of hockey players wearing the Ducks D are learning it the hard way as previous hockey players and generations of Anaheim Ducks hockey players, to know what it truly means to be an Anaheim Duck, what it truly means to persevere, what it truly means to go against all odds versus our enemies on the ice and our rivals on the ice. And that is an honest truth. You look at our previous seasons, previous rosters and generations of Mighty Ducks, Anaheim Ducks, who had to prove themselves, going against all odds, stealing games, stealing shutouts, surprising teams, were once defending Stanley Cup champions, powerhouses of the NHL. It is what it is. My first impressions over the first 41 games of this season, it started off was basically, I was hoping that the Ducks would build on something when they won against Seattle in overtime. But it becomes very clear that problems, issues, and symptoms, along with ailments and flaws within special teams, the lack of scoring, not to mention the lack of defensive support for John Gibson, Anthony Stellaris, and of course Lucas Dostor. Having those three goalies face 40-plus shots makes you understand why J.S. Jaguar, Jonas Hiller, Guy Hebert, and previous Ducks #1 goalies had to stand on their head, had to hold the line. Basically, it's a bad habit for the Ducks holding and relying on their goalie too much to bail them out. You don't have to assume or believe that John Gibson is the only one. You look at Ducks legendary goalie Jean-Sébastien Giguère to the original Mighty Duck, Guy Bear. They had to hold the line. They had to steal games. Facing 40-plus shots? Yeah. It's a bad habit. And another bad habit is also not scoring first. It's to the point of nerve-wracking. The Ducks allowing the opposition to score the first goal and set the tone most of the time, especially this season, while the Ducks have to play catch-up each game, game in and game out. It is what it is. Right now, our Anaheim Ducks have 41 games left. The second half. Whatever happens from here until the end of the season, where our Anaheim Ducks will finish remains to be seen. I always believe in a wait-and-see approach, and I still do. But right now, where our Anaheim Ducks will finish, I'd rather see them finish strong, regardless of where it be in the bottom of the Pacific Division, third last in NHL Western Conference, or the league overall. Either way, this team, this edition of the Anaheim Ducks, after 41 games, is not ready to be a Stanley Cup contender. Not yet. Zegras, Drysdale, Terry, our Anaheim Ducks, those players who will contribute to the Ducks' cause in the future, is not ready. Not yet. Not now. Till then, I'll see you soon. Go Ducks.